Hello everyone. Put your headphones on. Good afternoon everyone. My name is Henk Boelman. I'm a senior cloud advocate at Microsoft and I'm super excited to talk to you today about the capabilities of GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, which we have launched in November in our Azure AI Cloud. So over the last 1.5 years, the speed of innovation in AI has been extremely incredible and super fast. Many breakthroughs were there, and so we've seen so many companies already adopt AI in their applications and their solutions. But what the world was really amazed, like 1.5 years ago by ChatGPT, where we can have like language, text, and so on. But now always in the past there was like, oh, we have to adapt to talk to GPT from language. But now, with GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, multimodality is here. And we can actually have a computer that can see, but can also interpret what is on those images, and so on. So, foundation models are trained on a super amount of data, and they come in many flavors. And with the release of GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, the gap is being solved. So now we can have vision with GPT-4 Turbo with Vision. We can have audio with Whisper. We can have text with GPT-4 Vision, and we can generate images with DALL-E. So I'm going to show you today some demos of what you can do with GPT-4 Turbo with Vision and how it is able to kind of reason over those images and prompts you can give that. So what we have here is, why don't we see this? So I will quickly duplicate my display mirror. So hopefully now you can all see my screen. So this is the Azure AI Playground. So if you want to use one of these models, you can go to Azure, create a Azure AI Studio resource, and then start deploying these models. So I've already deployed a bunch of these models, and including GPT-4 Turbo with Vision. So I'm going to use this website to show you the capabilities. This talk is not about how you can install and how you can run all those things in Azure, but it is more showing you what you can do with these cool models. So the first demo I want to show you is this. So I'm prompting my model. Normally in the old days with ChatGPT we just use text, but now you can also send images. So I've sent this image of this vacation villa, and I'm asking, like, you are an AI assistant, we generate listings for vacation rentals, generate exciting content for this image, but don't talk about the content that you cannot see. So this is one of the first things I want to talk about. Like, I'm very explicitly asking GPT-4 Vision not to generate any content that it cannot see on that image, because we might have all seen that GPT-4 can be quite chatty and making up a lot of stuff, but by already putting that in the prompt, it will help guide the model to a better result. So I'm asking here, follow the format of an attention-grabbing title and provide a description that is only 6 sentences long. And we know GPT-4 has a little bit of problems with counting sentences, and especially letters, so it is doing its best. So, and if I would run that, it comes with the description, tropical paradise awaits at your dream pool villa. Yeah, a pool, it's a villa, looks kind of dreamy, so the AI got that right. And then it starts with the description, like immerse yourself in an ultimate relaxing experience with a stunning pool, villa with lush palm trees. So it looked at all those features of the image and then used that reasoning capacity that the model has to generate that cool description. So now, generating those descriptions for a vacation brochure is just as easy as uploading the image and prompting it with what you want to have. If I would ask, like, write 2 pages of descriptions, it would do that for us. So the next demo I want to show you is something a little bit different. It is like this image. I've uploaded this image and I asked, what is going on in this image? that we saw in the previous thing, it could reason about that. But then I asked the question, should I alert authorities, really challenging that reasoning capacity of GPT-4? And what it does, it is actually giving us some description and advice here. It is saying the image appears to show a flood situation where water is entering the building. That is kind of true. That's what we saw. So, and it also says this could be due of heavy rainfall, a natural disaster, or broken lever dam. So it doesn't explicitly say what it is, but this is giving us options. And that is a good thing. It is not making up any more stuff, but it's giving us options based on the knowledge the model had. And then if this is a current situation and the authorities are not yet alerted, it would be wise to inform them immediately to assure the safety of people and property and get the necessary help to manage the situation. Which is exactly what I would like to hear, like that I have to take action on this image because that is what I asked. Then I followed up with the question, where is this water coming from? So then it says, based on the image, it is not possible to determine the exact source of the water. And then it gave me again some options where this water was coming from, which is pretty cool and actually what you want. But then let's take it a little bit further. Let's go back to the presentation and look at some other examples. So for us humans and also for GPT-4 with Turbo with Vision is context is everything. You see this image here? Yes. Does anyone know what the image says? Raise your hands. Oh, you have seen the presentation before that. No? What do you think it says? You are actually quite good. You're the first one to guess that in like 20 presentations. So it says, so the AI actually, if you ask it to GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, it says the text in the image is not clearly readable due to its handwritten nature. But it appears to be a signature that looks like Mark. Could be a mark, or something different. The other text portions are blocked out, so it actually understood that some of the portions of the image were blocked out, and it reasoned that it could not read. But if I reveal a little bit more of this thing, and extract the text in this image, it now comes back with, hey, this is milk and steak. And now when we see it, we can also all see it, right? So context is everything, because it kind of reasoned that it appears to be a shopping list or a list of ingredients needed for a recipe. And then it understood, oh, it must be food or milk or a shopping list. So if we can look at here, this is the whole shopping list. And if I run that again through the prompt, it extracts everything. And this appears to be a handwritten shopping list detailing specific items. And you might have noticed that it also read like the small notes on the side, relating that to the beer. Like my wife wrote that there and said like 1 pack is enough, not a full fridge. And it kind of related that to the beer one. And also the eggs, a dozen. And the text is not like next to each other. A regular OCR would just write that down. But this kind of understood that those things are related, which is really, really interesting. Another thing it can do for you is you can give it this graph and generate Python code to draw similar curves. You give that image and voila, it came up with Python code that almost wrote a graph for me. But hey, the Python code was running, and it actually gave me even all the packages it needed. It kind of detected that it, of course, is a matplot kind of graph, which if you use matplot, you kind of know that, but also the model knows those kind of things just by looking at the image. And then I tried to do a little bit more, challenge it a little bit more and see if it could reason over like locations where things are, and then analyze small pieces of the image. So here I had in my garage some of these screws, and I was like, please detect which ones are broken. So I have the screw there on top in the green circle. That's the correct one. So I prompted that is the correct one, and then asked which of those 4 screws are defected. And it actually came back with a reasoning over every screw, like 1 is defective, 2 is not defective, 3 and 4 both are. So it really understood the placing of those images, that one related to there, and that you can tell it like in the green circle. And then it reasoned where that image was, or where that screw was in the green circle. So this is like kind of the basic what GPT-4 Vision with Turbo can do. It can reason over everything. The more context it has, the better it kind of reason. And of course, the better and more instructive your prompt is, the better the result is. But it becomes really interesting if you start combining GPT-4 Turbo with Vision with other models. So we have our Florence model that is very good in detecting images, in detecting objects on the image, making descriptions and reasons over that, to extracting keyframes from videos. So if you would enable that, and we can enable those two models to work together in the Azure playground by just a switch, we can do some really interesting things. So we have enhancements, and if you toggle this enhancement thing, it will leverage our Florence model that is also deployed in Azure. So I have this image here, someone wearing a lot of fashion items, and he asked, recommend some fashion items from this magazine picture. What is the person wearing on this image? Describe the fashion items on this picture. But now you see, when it responds, it is highlighting all those accessories and clothing the person wears. So I can click on a dark teal turtleneck sweater, and you see it highlights that now in the image and uses that kind of in the description it generates. And it, of course, this depends the belt and even all those small details it can recognize and use in that reasoning about it. But it becomes really interesting if we are adding video to that. So now we can upload a video or a live video feed to GPT-4 Turbo with Vision. And this, in this case, it is a drone image that is going over the neighborhood surrounding. And I'm asking here, I'm instructing the model, you are a security officer analyzing camera feeds looking for anomalies. I think we all humans can agree that that is kind of an anomaly. You don't want to have that in your street. So my question was two-folded here. It was first, provide a summary of whether there is an anomaly occurring, so like a yes, no kind of question. And then secondly, describe the video in detail, paying close attention to what is going on. So actually it has to reason over all those frames in a sequence and tell us kind of through time what is happening. So when you do that, it is uploading this, passing it to the Florence model. The Florence model extracts keyframes out of that and gives those keyframes back to GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, and then prompts the question. So first, there is a detailed anomaly occurring that should be looked further in. I could not agree more if that is the case. So secondly, the video shows a series of frames captured from an aerial perspective, likely from a drone or a mounted camera, and the location seems to be a residential, semi-urban area with houses nearby. But the most notable feature in the frames is that there is a fire burning. Kind of got that correct. And then the fire is consisting, presented in the same location throughout the timestamps. It is not giving 30 frames per second to the, to the GPT-4 Turbo with Vision. This actually chopped it up in 17 frames. And the fire approximated the residential structure, so immediately attention is required. So now we have like a video officer that can look at videos through time by just uploading videos and doing some and using this and using the Florence model. So another interesting scenario I tried out is trying to ask it to write me a report for car damages. So I was like, hey, if you're an insurance in kind of company, it would be super useful if they would upload like kind of a video of their car and then just get a description back of what is going on without all the forms and all the other things you have to file in. So this was the car from my colleague, and that person was not so careful with the car. So I uploaded and I asked the video, you're an AI expert in evaluating car damages from car accidents for insurance. Respond to me in 2 sections. Section 1 should be the car details, like license plate. So I did not explicitly tell it which kind of things to extract from it. I just said like license plate. And then the second section should include only 6 sentences and give me a description of the car damage. So it came back actually with the license plate, just extracted from the video, the car make, the Toyota, it's a Camry, at approximately a year. It just kind of reasoned itself that that would be useful information to have on an insurance report. And there's a range of 10 years, could of course not exactly look up the year, but 2000, 2001, detected that the color was blue, and then it describes the damages. So there were big scratches on the side. It described that kind of accurately, like the paint is chipped in various spots, revealing the thing. And when I asked my colleague, what did you do with your car? Why is your car damaged? He actually said that he took like 2 times the corner too small in the Microsoft parking garage. And that is not, of course, not exactly like that, but the damages, how it was caused, like scratched or rough surface, was actually there. And that is just by uploading a video. So it saves a lot of time by implementing these things in your solutions. Then, another thing what is super useful, at least for me, I have to upload all my receipts after every trip and so on, remove all the text and all those kind of things. And GPT-4 Turbo with Vision can actually help you with that. But if you give these receipts to GPT-4 Turbo with Vision alone, it gives you JSON back, of course, if you ask it, but not all the numbers are correct, because it kind of looks at the image, reasons over the image, but it is not like doing the exact thing. It's kind of mismatched some numbers. It's like not 20, it's detected 26, but it was actually 25. But again, if you combine that with our Florence model, what is actually really, really good in OCR, it is actually capable of, there were a lot of mistakes. That one is really good in OCR and also in detecting handwriting. So it runs it first to the Florence model, then adds that information that it extracted to the prompt for GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, and then gives us the answer. And that all works in the background for you by just toggling on that thing. So I just now showed you the interface, like how to do that. But of course, this is all available with some basic API calls. You send an image in base 64, you send a Boolean for the toggle, and then you send your prompt in an array with user and assistant and your system message, as you would do with any GPT-4 call in kind of your applications. So the final thing I want to show you, and where it is getting really interested, is having Azure OpenAI on your data with your own images. So now it knows GPT-4 Vision, knows the world, but it doesn't know your products. So what you can do is you can bring your own data to Azure AI Search, factorize your images, and then use GPT-4 Turbo with Vision to reason over your own data. So for this demo, we have a small web shop that sells outdoor kind of stuff, like tents, like hiking shoes and so on, and we have a chatbot for that. So what we want is actually a system that you do not only have text, but can kind of upload a picture and then ask, recommend me a tent like this for under $200. So this is my tent, and I just want to find a similar tent like that. And that is possible now. And I will show you how you can actually do that. So if we go back, here we have the outdoor Contoso. They're not DALL-E generated images at all, like the Wool web shop. And the descriptions are also all made up by GPT-4 Turbo with Vision. But in Azure AI Studio, you have a button, Add Your Own Data. So what you can do is you have three options. You have upload your files, connect to an Azure Blob Storage, or connect directly to Azure AI Search. So if you choose upload your files, it will upload it to you to your Blob Storage, and then adds it to you in Azure AI Search. So I will show you from the start how that works. So here we have to enter a lot of details about your Azure. You can select an Azure AI Search Research. We say test, index. Check the button that we agree that this will all cost money, of course, and that we will need the Azure Search account. Can click on Browse. I have a bunch of images here of our tents. You can click Open, click Upload Files, click Next, and then we can enter descriptions here. So I would say recommend just adding the name here or some other small feature, but you don't have to tell it anymore. The color of the tent or that it is a dome tent. It will all retrieve that from the image for you. So when you do that, you click next, 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 a pipeline will kick off, it will vectorize it, will put it in Azure AI Search for you. It takes around 15 minutes, and I have like 5 minutes left, so we're not going to do that here. So I have already connected to one of those indexes. So here we have the index, and what I have here is just the descriptions of the tent, and what it is not showing is the image vector that is in this case has 1024 dimensions. So I can connect directly to this Azure AI search index now, and I'm instructing my agent here, like your AI assistant, that helps to find people information, and in your response mention the kind of source file that is being used and from the tent you kind of recommend. So here I have my image, like recommended tent like this for under the $200. It comes back with the Trailblazer X2 tent, is priced at $190, and the source image that we used is 21-7. And if we go to my Explorer, we kind of see here the tent that is kind of similar. It's a dome tent, it's yellow, to this tent here. And I can basically ask it more like, hey, is there like a cheaper option? And then it will do the search, adds those things like what we basically do in a rack, adds that to the system prompt, and it comes back with, yes, there is the Mountain Peak tent and the Trailblazer single, image 22 and 28. So let's see what it is reason there. Okay, it's kind of the same shape, different color, so acceptable. And the other image was 28, which is also, the color comes closer, it is also a dome tent, so it is done quite okay here. So back to the presentation, I want to very quickly go here and talk to you a little bit about our Seeing AI app, because this is an application where we actually built in GPT-4 Turbo with Vision. So the Seeing AI app is an app that helps people with a visual impairment to understand their surroundings. There was always a feature that you could take a picture and it would describe what was on the image to you. But now with GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, you give it the image, it tells you exactly what is on the image, but you have the ability to have a conversation about what it is seeing on the image. So it first comes up with like a general description. These are all like kind of sea stars or starfish with different sizes and shapes. And some starfish are submerged underwater. But then I can ask like, hey, what do the starfish looks like? And it will tell me. And I can ask a next question, like what is the yellow starfish doing? Or what is the pink starfish doing? And it will tell me that. So this really helps people to kind of understand more what is going on in images, and for people with a visual impairment, what is going on in their surrounding. So that was it, what I wanted to show you all. Thank you all very much for being here, and I hope you have a lovely next of your day.